Hey there, got some things to do today. I need to do some foliar spray, a couple of other things. So I thought while I'm doing foliar spray, we could go look at some plants and some garden stuff. At the end of this video, I want to introduce you to a couple of new friends. So let's get that stuff done. So the green stalk is still doing great. I figured out the problem I was having with watering it was that I was letting it dry out in between. Like not dry, but I was letting the soil get kind of dry. When I was doing that and I would put the water in the top, soil can be hydrophobic, and so it would just run through. If I keep it ever so slightly damp, then when I water in the top, it works correctly. What do you know? Doing it right makes it work. I did learn a cool thing about doing foliar spray on nasturtiums. Watch this. See, this leaf looks perfectly dry? It beads up on nasturtium leaves and it won't like leave the leaf looking wet like it does with most stuff. Not weird? Nasturtiums are cool. So it looks a little bit different. I took out one of the calendulas. This one's coming out soon, but one of the calendulas was just spent, I guess, really is all. And so I took it out and I put a new one in. So it's got a new little baby. I took out just some of the plants that were like older, failing, whatever, and started replacing them. I figured out, so down at the bottom, there's a swarm of dragonflies, and I know the camera's not going to pick it up. Down at the bottom, I had a borage and some other stuff, and it was going pretty well, and then it just started all looking really sick. At the same time, kind of, ants moved into the bottom tier, and they were undermining the plants. So that's not fun, but I got it taken care of. I flooded it. I actually put DE down there, which I don't use very often because of bees, but it's inside the thing, and they won't go in there, so it's okay. Do y'all see all the flowers on this catnip? I keep wanting to cut it back, and I have a little bit, but there's so many pollinators in this thing all the time. One day I sat here and counted. There were 4 different kinds of bees. There were honeybees, carpenters, the little green sweat bees, and then these little tiny black sweat bees. There was like 2 kinds of wasps, a bunch of grasshoppers, different kinds of butterflies. It was just... I'm gonna have to get myself a potted catnip going so I can take one with me. They're so beautiful, and the cats, of course, love them. I accidentally watered a cat yesterday. I was deep watering the gardens last night, and there was a cat he sleeps back in there, and he was tucked in. I didn't know he was there, and I sprayed this plant, and he came flying out. It was kind of funny. I mean, probably not for the cat, but it was funny. That honeybee just landed on my arm for a second. See him? Love it. So we talked about foliar spray when I planted these peppers down here that were really sick because I had ignored them for too long. And we talked about how foliar spray is fertilizer. I use compost tea, and the plants have stomata. They have pores in their leaves that help them release water when they need to or take in nutrients. And they help with photosynthesis. If your soil's too dry or too wet, those stomata will close and your plant will stop processing nutrients and it will stop processing sunlight. Keeping your plants watered evenly is a good idea. Of course, we want to let things dry a little bit of stress is good. Back to the foliar spray. Sorry, it's early and I haven't finished my coffee. I showed you these plants and they were terrible and they were sad, and look at that. I've been doing foliar spray on these every other day until my old hose end sprayer died. And then I took a break and now I've been back at it. And they are just beautiful. These are jalapenos, the ones I've showed you so far. This jalapeno plant is hiding with this surprise turmeric here. Look at that. We've got a shishito from these plants that I wasn't certain were going to make it just because I keep giving them foliar spray. It's pretty amazing stuff. And it's not harsh and it's not going to hurt the plants because it's compost tea. I put comfrey in there, a little bit of unfinished compost, a little handful of worm castings, and a banana. There's a whole banana in the bucket. I meant to just do the peel, but the banana was going bad and I was just like, bleh, and there it goes. Look at this. It's not flowering yet, but I mean, this is gonna put out some habaneros. Look at these beautiful leaves. Yay for foliar spray. It's amazing stuff. This is something I'm gonna miss a lot when I move. We have planted watermelons here once. 3 years ago, we planted watermelons in 2021. And we were standing over there eating. The kid in the house was having his like first cut it outside and eat it right away kind of, we just picked it, watermelon. Eating watermelon and we're spitting seeds, and a bunch of seeds came up over there last year. And we had all these volunteer watermelons sprawling everywhere. And I was like, okay, well, I'll have to plant this year. And these came up. This will be our third set of moon and stars off of a single planting, and my last. And that makes me a little bit sad, but then I'll get them going out there and there'll be more out there and it'll be fine. But it's so exciting. You leave one in place to rot is what we did last year, and they come up and they'll make you more watermelons. Good little plants, good little fruits. Little fruits. If you have not subscribed yet, but you enjoy my videos, would you please hit subscribe? Anytime you want to share, talk to me in the comments, ask me questions, all that good stuff, all of that is wonderful and I appreciate it so much. Thank you. I just refilled the hose and sprayer bucket and I'm walking down here like, don't drink out of the wrong thing, Michaela, don't drink out of the wrong thing. That'd be gross. Since I just refilled that, let's talk about hose and sprayers really quick and what happened to my other one and what I switched to and why. I'm not for or against either brand here. I'm not affiliated with either brand here. I'm not mad at either brand here. This is the one I was using before. A couple of things I really did like about it is it gives you exact measurements to where you're setting your thing. So this would add 8 ounces per gallon if I left it on that setting. It has different spray nozzles. I liked that. And the little Dumaflachi thingamabob, that it's weighted. So it like goes down to the bottom wherever, like when you turn it, it stays in the liquid. I liked those things about it a whole lot. What ended up not working out is that when you're using it, all the weight of the hose is here. Or if you hold it here, if you hold the hose, then all the weight of the hose and sprayer is here. So this part, which is just to tighten onto the hose, and I had a quick connect in here, so I never had to like work this, but this part gets a lot of stress and it started leaking from here. And this doesn't tighten down, and there's no way to take this off and like put plumber's tape or a washer or anything in there. This washer was being effective. It was leaking from this joint. It had to go after it very thoroughly wet my pants one day. I've switched to this one, and I went with this one because of the angle. So now when I'm holding it, the hose is hanging straight down instead of out, if that makes sense. So it's not like doing that torque on it. And then this part is metal. This part is metal. This is a plastic handle on the metal. It doesn't have the same settings. So it has these little arrows, which my thing got them upside down. It's teaspoons to a gallon now. So it's 10, 7, 6, 5 down to 1. And then it doesn't have options for spray. So with this pointed that way, it sprays down. And then if you flip it over, you can spray up in trees, which I do. McCare's hose and sprayer review is over now. This is the replacement apple tree because the other one died because of the drought last year. It's doing well. It's leafed out nicely. As you can see, it's got a little bit of rust on it. That might be cedar apple rust is the closest that I'm finding. And it's got a little bit of a grasshopper issue, but we're taking care of both of those with foliar spray. Most of your kind of weak plant issues can be handled with foliar spray. It's simple and I like it. In this bed, I also got my okra in. You can see they're starting buds, little okra buds. And I planted Clemson spineless. I planted burgundy, Jing orange, something pink. I don't remember. but I didn't label them because it's okra and I'm gonna eat it. It doesn't really matter what it is. I'm gonna eat it. I'm probably gonna fry it. And if I'm not gonna fry it, I'm gonna throw it in a pan with some tomatoes and heat it up like that and put it over rice. Maybe with some ginger and garam masala. That sounds really good. Okay. So I guess I owe y'all not an apology. I'm trying to stop apologizing for things that I have no control over. An explanation of why I didn't show up last week after the big announcement. And if you will look right here, you will see our highest heat index for last week. That doesn't mean that was the only one that was that bad. Heat indexes in the 120s. 120s. We had one day where it was like 86 and then the heat index was like 116. It was unbelievable. I would just walk outside and my clothes would be drenched. I wasn't even sweating. The air was sweating. It was gross. I was not about to get out here and record. It was even like 7 o'clock in the morning. It was already disgusting. 9 o'clock at night, still disgusting. That disgusting weather is why you didn't get a video last week. I really want to apologize, but I am not going to because I did give myself heat exhaustion just trying to take care of the yard. So yeah, that. I was about to talk to you about my blackberry plant, but this showed up. I'm gonna miss Bo. Why are you moving, Bo? Bo is moving to Ireland this winter. Ireland. So I'm not gonna get to cuddle her anymore. Oh, baby. Okay, go see. All right, so my blackberry. I put in 2 plants. Well, I put in 3, but one immediately didn't make it. I put in 2 plants that made it. One is over on the other side of this, and one is on the other side of the fence. They started to produce last year, but then we went from like winter straight into 100 degrees. The weather here's gross. There's just not another word for it. I'm sorry, it's gross. But this year it fruited, not a whole lot because it only had the one floricane. So it's making this, and I am tip layering it. I have tried cuttings in water. I have tried cuttings in soil. I have failed at both. So now I'm trying tip layering, and then I'm going to serpentine layer a piece of it back there. And then this will be fruit for the new homeowners next year, if they keep it. I hope they keep it. Dear new homeowners, please keep the plants that I put in for you because I put them in for you and me, but you know, they're nice. This is a Arapaho thornless blackberry, and it is a floricane blackberry. I'm just learning about berry plants. The first year growth, this came up a couple of months ago, and this will not produce flowers or fruits this year, but next year it will. And then next year it'll send up new shoots, and then those will produce the following year. So it's always kind of a year behind. So I'm propagating it so that I can take some with me, obviously. And then I added some new berry plants because Stark Brothers had a sale. They had a Father's Day sale, and I am not a father, but I took advantage of the sale anyhow. So I got, who are you? A Sweetheart blueberry, and it's looking a little haggard, but it has been getting compost tea to water with, and it's been getting foliar spray. And then I got a, who are you? O'Neill blueberry, and it's looking better than the one in the larger pot. So here's the thing. Both of these plants were the same price, a gallon and a 4-inch, although this looks like it's a nursery gallon, which is like a 3/4 gallon. And this looks a little bit better than a 4-inch to me, maybe just because it's deep. But like size does not dictate the quality of the plant. Obviously this one is a healthier plant than this one, but we're gonna nurse them and get them back to health. And then I got a, ooh, look at you, Heritage Red raspberry. I kind of wish I had picked up a second raspberry plant and maybe even a second blackberry plant, but we can do that later. I can catch up on those. So between these 4 and my strawberries and my pine berries, I should theoretically, if all goes well, after the first year, I should have fruit from April when the strawberries get started through frost. One of these, it's either one of the blueberries or it's the raspberry, produces up until frost. I might have a little bit of a gap in August. It looks like I should pretty much have fruit most of the production year. So that's pretty exciting. Can I just tell y'all, it feels so much better now that y'all know that I'm moving. Like there's all these things. If you remember, I said that I need to work on my container gardening this year. That's for the move. And when I said I really need to plant less tomatoes this year, that was for the move. Y'all, I just sat down on this log and a piece of the bark slid off and I fell. It was pretty funny. I'm breaking in here to say that if you are still here, you are a loyal viewer and I appreciate that a whole lot. I want to talk to you about other ways that you can help because obviously you are already subscribed and you've already hit like and you might have already commented and all of those things are super awesome. I hate asking for help, but I have a Buy Me a Coffee. All donations on Buy Me a Coffee are going toward my new camera, which I ordered. Because we hit 500 subscribers. Oh, we hit 500 subscribers. Thank you. Because like I said, I know you're all subscribed if you're still watching this. Right now, all of that is going to the new camera, unless you say that you want your donation to go to the move, and then I'll allocate it appropriately. But I wanted to get y'all like better quality, and shooting on my phone is just starting to drive me nuts. My Buy Me a Coffee link is down in the description, and I did receive a donation there after the announcement video. And I don't want to tell people's names when you help me out with things because I don't know everybody's like financial and personal and work situation. So I'm just going to say thank you for donating. And there's a link in the description for green stock. So that'll get you $10 off if you spend $75 or more. Get you one. And to the friend who got one recently, thank you. Because every time y'all do that, it gives me $10 of credit. You get $10 off, I get $10 of credit. And then I can get another green stock to help move. So I have that one for like my perennial herbs, and then I can get the other one, I want to get a leaf. So I can get like all my greens going like quick in the spring, even if I haven't prepared ground for them. Back to the video. So the sun gold is having some problems, but it's the only one that's struggling out of the ones that got planted on time. But it looks like it's doing better at the top, so I think it's going to be all right. My green zebra is doing great. I pulled in one from that. I accidentally topped this plant. Not exactly sure what or how I did that. I mean, I know how I did it. Obviously, I cut the top of the plant off, but I'm not really sure. I don't remember doing it, is what I should say. This is the plant that I was looking forward to the most. Like, I really wanted to eat some carbon tomatoes, and it happens to be the one that I topped and delayed, of course. This is gobstopper. This is cherry tomatoes. They're like little greenish yellow. I mean, not little. They're kind of large for cherry tomatoes. Okay, here's my Cherokee purple. I know. It's everybody's like intro heirloom tomato, and it was mine too, and that's why I love it so much. It is delicious. If you are going to make bruschetta, I'm going to say Cherokee purple is the way to go. I do need to come out and tie up tomatoes tonight. I probably will go through and take off some suckers and start some suckers. This is Thorburns terracotta. This is what I've eaten so far. I've gotten a few, I've gotten a few off of this plant, and it looks like this one is ready to come in. Whew. This one is ready. It's starting to blush. I've been pulling them at this stage just because we've been having like weird random rain. We had, so also, in addition to the ridiculously high heat, we were having these like storms that would come out of nowhere, and it'd be like sunny, and then it would be hailing. I lost 5 tomatoes. They were all cherry tomatoes, but it knocked the tomatoes off the plants. But it didn't do any other damage. Like a lot of hail, y'all. It didn't do any other damage except for knocking 5 cherry tomatoes off of plants. And then finally, black cherry. It was a little slow to produce, and I don't know why. It's usually like early, but it's fine. It is kicking now. You can see it's just like way up there. It's about to go over the fence. I'm going to take some of the suckers and run them along the fence slats. Fill out that way. I think it's just going to be amazing and gorgeous. Black cherry tomatoes are, to me, in flavor, they are like baby Cherokee purples. They're delicious. I think the ones that were starting to blush are the ones that the hail got. So, you know, it's okay. They'll grow back. There's more. There's so many more. And I will probably start another one of this as well from a sucker. And I'll just fill in with the spots that I have for tomatoes that didn't get planted or didn't take. I think that's all I'm going to do is just fill in with some rooted suckers and not really stress myself too much about it because I do have a lot going on. And that's how easy it is to feed your trees. The This stuff's amazing. Like, Foliar Spray is just the best. I'm sorry. I know I'm kind of like a little Foliar Spray fangirl, but you saw those peppers. You saw what it did. And those tomatoes back there that are dealing with like the heat and the humidity. 86% humidity we had. And the tomatoes are like fine. Foliar Spray. That's all. That's all it is. I'm gonna finish getting things sprayed. I'm gonna wrap that up really quick before it gets too hot and bright out here and it starts to burn the plants. You wanna do this in the morning or in the evening, depending on your climate. If your nights are cool and if you're really humid, do this in the morning. If you are 100 degrees by 9 o'clock in the morning, do this in the evening. You don't wanna burn your plants with the water sitting on them. I'm pushing the limit right now. All right, y'all have new friends to meet. And this is done. Let's get to that part. Excess compost tea never goes to waste. Okay, it's new friend meeting time. Are you ready to meet my new friends? I'm excited to introduce them to you. Hang on, I'll be right back. This is Laverne. Hi, Laverne. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay, sweet bird. Laverne is a retired leghorn. She does not make eggs anymore. Or I was told she might make one every few months, but she's really not laying anymore. We are getting my retirement home for hens going. And Laverne came with her best friend, and I'm gonna go grab her. Put your guess for her name down in the comments before I get back. Borp. Did you guess? Did you put your guess down there? This is Shirley. Hi. Shirley is a barnyard mix, and she is still laying, but she hasn't made any eggs for us yet. Ooh, baby. They got here Thursday. Today is Monday. Oh, Henny, come here. Oh, Henny, hen. She's nervous, but I want to show y'all how pretty she is. Look at that bird, and look at her earlobes. She is really pretty. I think she looks like a little roadrunner. A very, very kind family brought them over. They delivered them for us. They wouldn't even take gas money. It was so sweet. Bearded Lady is giving them nonstop heck. We're gonna say heck. We're gonna keep this child safe because there is a chicken here. They are the start of my retirement home for hens. Huh, baby? You calm down a little? Yeah. You wanna go back in your coop? Okay. So those are my new girls. Aren't they cute? I don't know if you could hear her, but Laverne was like fussing at me when I had Shirley out of the coop. She did not appreciate me taking her sister away. I'm gonna refer you to this video right here, and that is gonna tell you how to make the compost tea that I was using as a foliar spray. I also use it as a drench. Alrighty, so that is that video, and this is the video for if you've already seen that one and YouTube thinks you need that one next. Alrighty? Later, y'all.